your differences of how things, it's like going home for Christmas. You know, there are a lot of different emotions, and we all have our boundaries and our agendas. And for me, it's compassion for the fact that we're in different places, but I can have compassion for where she is and look at her and realize that's my mom, even though we don't agree on much that particular day or whatever. And forgiveness, and just realizing that in families, some people say this, and this is a deep thing, but you know, you just don't want any regrets at the funeral. You just don't want to stand there and say, God, I wish I had. And so for me, it's about just forgiveness, and let's just enjoy each other. Let's not get into an argument about politics, or let's just sing and enjoy ourselves. And like in the car, I started to talk about something. She turned around, she goes, stop talking, I'm enjoying myself. And I'm like, okay, that was a reminder to not get caught up in the crap that mothers and daughters can over nothing, right? So I think, I mean, as I woke up this morning, I looked over at Harrah's, and I thought that's where we started in the 80s. Then I moved over to the Hilton and channeled Elvis in the dressing room. And now here we are at the Venetian, and it's like, then we played Caesars. Moving on up, that song. And I just kept thinking, you know, that Phoenix is rising again and again for me. This is a chance for me, before the album launches in February, for me to step back and realize where I came from. To not forget my roots. I think a lot of entertainers today are so caught up in the success that they forget to enjoy the journey. So this is a chance to stop the madness, get off the bus, come to this place, which is, for me, isolation, because it's away from all out there, you know? And just hunker down and enjoy these 3 weeks as if they're a vacation and a time with mom.
I should acknowledge that on my dressing room door, have you seen that? Because your dressing room's first. Have you walked down the hall? Have you seen what's on my door?
No?
There's a big tin, it's a professional sign. There's a big tin sign hanging on the door of my dressing room that says, remember, most people still believe that we're a nice, normal family.
Actually, they don't. But anyway, moving on.
Thank you, and congrats again.
I think they know better. Does anyone else have a question?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Hi, how are you guys? Thanks for being here today. I'm Todd Michaels from 1027 The Coyote here in Vegas. Our listeners love you. My mom said as I walked out the door this morning, and I have to tell you, when you say a second chance with your mom, I've lived out west now for 25 years, so I feel like when I moved her here back in March, it's our second chance to get to know each other all over again. So I appreciate that, what you said. But she said to tell you, she loves your hit, Heaven Help Me, and she said, please tell her that this morning.
Because I'm all about the drama.
Anyway, when I talked to your mom, Naomi, a few weeks ago, you called the show, and you had just arrived in Vegas. You told me you were at a Smith's grocery store, and I about fell out. How does Naomi Judd walk into a Smith's grocery store? Have you had any more of those kind of encounters since you've been here? And what do the fans say when they find out it's Naomi Judd right there in front of them?
He's referring to the fact that Larry and I never stay in the hotels. We rent little ordinary condos so that we can go to Smith's grocery store. I spent almost an hour and 5 minutes at Walgreens. That's where I went.
I think you need to get out more.
But
it's kind of sad.
People are stunned, like if they get in an elevator. Here's the look, okay? Watch.
Well, especially with the tiara on. I mean, it's like, seriously, who wears a tiara?
But I don't wear any makeup. Sometimes wear a little hat.
You always have on makeup.
Or sunglasses. But at Walgreens, the cutest thing happened. There were 2 little ladies, and one of them had spotted me when we got out of our cars together because we were trying not to ding each other's doors. She spotted me during that little interaction. Larry knows what I'm talking about. And she said, you know, this is Las Vegas, and this is the only reason I think it might be you. It might be you. And I said, who's you? And I've had people say Reba McEntire or, you know, just go on. But she said, you're Naomi Judd. And I said, 24/7. She gave me this bear hug, and she and her little friend went in the grocery store and they were sort of like tailing me and they wanted to talk. So finally I realized this was going to make their week. So we stood there and talked about whether tuna is better in oil or water.
Because that's what matters.
The oil won.
You know, just the truth
Joy
is,
to people.
for us, and you all will get this, we live in a bubble, and it's all about, the memo's always about, Winona, here's what you're doing. I go to Target, and I'm not kidding, and I will go and spend extra time, and I promise you, I will have a life experience that I can't get in show business, obviously. And some of them are really deep, and some of them are just as delightful, and I want to take them home and just play, because they're fun people who have joy in their life. And I think a lot of entertainers miss out on that real life experience. And for me, sometimes I'll talk to a girl in the aisle about, I actually met a girl who was going to kill herself. Okay, that's the heavy side. And we talked about it, and I said, I've been there, I tried it at 18, and we got this whole conversation. And she let me know later that she's changed her mind. I mean, that kind of stuff. Then you'll talk to somebody about, I'm an animal advocate, and I rescue, got in touch with a guy. You just meet real people in the real world, and you learn about real stuff where you can't in show business, because we're always about the show, or the album, or the interview. And it's nice to touch base with the reality of somebody going, you know what, this is what I think. Because we think sometimes with power and money that we have it all figured out. And it's nice to just stand there with somebody and go, you know what, it gives you choices, but that's not really what it's about. It's about standing here talking to this person who just moved here and has no idea what it's like, and I give them the name of the church and the dentist I go to, and we just have a conversation. And I feel like I get filled up that way, because sometimes, I mean, let's face it, show business, as you know, can be pretty life-sucking at times. You just give and you give and you give and you give and you give, and you feel bankrupt. But going into those places like Walgreens, you talk about real life. And that's where we get our fix.
If I started a conversation with somebody about the things that people start conversations with me about, they call for security. But this is like, but I love people so much, and those everyday beats are what give shape and definition to your life. And you find out how much alike we all are. I'll show you what happens on the street. Okay, so this...
When you're wearing that?
No, I'm not wearing this. I'm just making a point that, okay, so, come here, you're coming at me.
No, I'm not going to be a pawn in this.
Okay, so a couple of people, I'm on the strip, a couple of people are coming towards me, and they're talking, and yeah, we're going to go see Celine tonight, blah, 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 and I go by, and I get about 6 feet past them, and then I go, because what happens is they pass me, and they've had this little tete-a-tete about, that is her, but I do this, gotcha. And then if I want to chat, we chat.
You know, everyone should have a mother dressed up like this, I'm just saying. Seriously, you should take your mother out to lunch and let her dress up in her favorite tiara and see what happens, I'm just saying.